can we just get this one over and done with? Thanks. January. Let's get January over and done with. Fed up talking about it. It just gets worse. It just gets worse. Today, we're here to talk about Celtic's next signing, potentially their last signing of the January window. Yesterday, we said, we'd end up with Premier League loan signings. Duds from the Premier League. It's duds from the Championship. Great. Hello, welcome back to the channel. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 50,000 subs this year, and that's for the power of you guys. If you go down below, hit those buttons, it's absolutely free. However, I wouldn't blame you if you're not in the mood for that this morning, because the news just keeps getting worse at Celtic. We're going to talk about what looks to be our next and final signing of the January window. We're going to talk about an injury which has left a right bitter taste in the mouth of Celtic supporters. It's not been a great morning. Nah. We may as well cut to the chase. Idah looks to be Celtic's next signing in the January transfer window. He looks to be the striking option that we're going for to bolster our options for the second half of the season. The player currently playing for Norwich in the Championship. I believe he's currently third choice at Norwich City. And instead of signing Sidney van Hooijdonk, we're going for him. No option to buy. Just going for him on loan for the next few months, when he scored 17 goals in 115 appearances for Norwich. What a player. This was the update this morning from Anthony Joseph of Sky Sports. He said Celtic have agreed a loan deal for Norwich City forward Adam Idah. It's understood there's no option to buy. Idah is due to undergo a medical in London today. Meanwhile, Bologna's Sidney van Hooijdonk is due to travel to the UK to have a medical and finalise his move to Norwich. So, after talking about Sidney van Hooijdonk for the last two transfer windows, after looking at him as a realistic option to join Celtic, what we've done is we've said no. We've allowed him to go to Norwich City, and instead we'll go and sign Norwich City's third choice now. That's Celtic for you. Brilliant. Can I just say before we go any further, before I get into things and right deep into it, that I actually feel kind of sorry for Adam Idah, because he is going to become the centre of attention in what is a perfect storm now for Celtic supporters. He is going to be the one coming into the club with nothing but abuse hurled his direction upon the post of his signing. And it's nothing to do with the guy himself. It's nothing to do with him. If anything, I wish him all the best. Obviously, I want him to do well if he becomes a Celtic player. Why wouldn't I? I've got nothing against the guy himself. But when you look at the stats, when you look at the situation, you can't even call it a joke at this point. It's beyond a joke, the way that Celtic have handled their transfer business in this window. And when you look at the stats behind Adam Idah and the player that you're bringing in here, and first-hand opinions from pundits and Norwich City supporters, this is a real letdown. This is a catastrophic transfer window, which is ending with a catastrophic signing for Celtic. I'm not surprised, because it's what I've become used to as a Celtic fan with the people who run our football club. But when we have been in this window looking and linked with other strikers, looking into strikers and linked with Van Hooijdonk, linked with Kvistgaard, and linked with other guys who actually score goals, and now we end up with a dud from England's second tier, it does leave a bitter taste in the mouth. And honestly, it's drained me of all energy for this second half of the season. It's drained me of even what to talk about it today, because I could sit here, I could rant, and I could say how displeased I am at the signing. But as I've said multiple times this week, I'm starting to feel like a broken record. I feel like my point has been made perfectly clear about the people running their football club. The board are a shambles. They deserve to be huckled out of Celtic Park for the way that they have handled this transfer window. In living memory, you are arguably looking at the worst transfer window ever. For me anyway. It's up there. We went in knowing that we had to recruit, knowing that we had to improve in areas. We needed a striker. The guy we're bringing in isn't even an improvement on O, when arguably we should be looking for an improvement on Kyogo. Never mind O. It's outrageous. And as I said, I wish him the best, and I hope he proves everybody who's doubting him wrong, and I hope that he does come in and score goals. He's certainly got attributes that will do Celtic handy, there's no denying it. But this isn't the way the transfer window should have went for Celtic. What's even worse is, according to reports, Sidney van Hooijdonk wanted the move to Celtic. This was an article that was published this morning suggesting that the striker's agent had been waiting for Brendan Rodgers' side to make a concrete approach because joining Celtic has been his family's real target. Celtic don't appear to have made the decisive push required to sign the Dutchman, and he's now steps away from making a switch to Norwich City. So there was, and listen, Norwich seemed to be signing him on a loan deal with an option to buy, which for an English Championship side is not going to be a large transfer fee. Why could we not have done that? And why is there no option to buy with Adam Idah? What is the business that's getting done at Celtic Park? Because what if Adam Idah does come up here? And what if he does really well? What if he scores goals? And we've not got an option to buy the player? Who's negotiating these deals? Who is in charge of our transfer strategies? There's a player there much better than Adam Idah who obviously wanted to come to Celtic, was available on a loan deal with an option to buy. We've said no. Instead, we're going for someone who is evidently much, I don't want to say worse, because I feel like that's quite offensive, but he's not as good as Van Hooijdonk. We're going for him. We've not even put in an option to buy in case he does well. Who's in charge of this? Brendan Rodgers needs to come out and criticise the Celtic board. I can't put up with this lapping it up and saying that he's happy with it. He's not happy with it. And he should condemn the Celtic board. He should come out and voice his displeasure to how this transfer window has been handled, instead of lying to their faces. You know me, I love Brendan Rodgers, but I can't be arsed with it. I cannot be arsed with lies that he's happy when all he's done for the last 5 months is beg for quality and ask for quality. This isn't quality. Adam Idah is not the quality signings that Celtic fans were expecting. Once again, nothing bad. Nicholas Kuhn is probably not the signing that Celtic fans were expecting. We have got nothing that we expected from this window. We went in saying we want a left back, we want a striker, we would potentially like a goalkeeper, and we've got none of it. And the one that we are getting is just miles off the level required. We are gambling a league title. The Celtic board should be thrown out, as I've already said, of Celtic Park. It is so frustrating. And I don't want people thinking that this is an overreaction. Because, do you know what? It's not an overreaction. This is a culmination of Celtic Football Club and the owners and the stakeholders of the club doing the same thing to Celtic supporters window after window, year after year. They are taking us for an absolute ride. And it happens every fucking year. Every year. And now that it's all coming together and there's a culmination on the 31st of January, no wonder fans like myself and people online, social media, on the radio and everywhere else are getting this annoyed, are getting this frustrated. This isn't what we pay season ticket money for. This isn't what we pay Champions League match packages for. This isn't what we pile money into kits and merchandise and everything else for. We sign up to see Celtic do their best and the board do their best for the club and the fans. And that is something that board, Peter Lawwell, Michael Nicholson, Dermot Desmond and everybody else involved hasn't done for years. They have continuously let Celtic fans down. They have continuously given us a massive middle finger. And here we are, 31st of January, signing a dud from the English Championship with no other reinforcements around the squad. And we are a few games away from, a complete capitulation, which could spell disaster come the end of the season. This is why I'm annoyed. This is his stats. And once again, I hope he does well. 17 goals in 115 games for Norwich. 6 goals this season. Or 7 goals, sorry. I forgot his VFA Cup one. Throw that in there. 7 goals this season. Last season, he scored 2. Why should I be excited? Why should I be optimistic? Why should I be happy? Why? Why should I be happy about this? There is no evidence. He's scored, 8 goals in the last year and a half of his career. Why? We'll be live tonight if the signing is made, and we'll talk about. I want to get your guys' opinions. I want to talk to you. I don't want to just make this me ranting for the next couple of days. I want to get you guys involved. Let's get you ranting, I suppose. But it looks as though that's going to be done and finalised over the next 24 hours. Of course, deadline day is tomorrow night. I just don't understand why the club aren't going in to try and make a last-ditch effort to sign Sidney van Hooijdonk. It would be a much better option. I think it's an option that would make the Celtic support much happier. And I'm not saying that Sidney van Hooijdonk is the holy grail. I'm not saying that he's the player, the end-all, be-all, and that's the one that we need. But he's certainly a more attractive option than what Adam Idah is. And I hope he proves me wrong by the end of the season if he contributes, if he scores goals. But it's not the guy that's my problem. It's the situation. And I'm fed up of being taken for a ride. And to finish up on what has been a brutal morning for Celtic Football Club, Rio Hatate had to go off injured this morning in Japan's game at the Asian Cup against Bahrain, I believe. He went off in the first half. Here's the headlines. Celtic have been dealt fresh injury concerns after Rio Hatate was forced off injured while playing for Japan. The Hoops midfielder, 25, had to be replaced by Hidemasa Morita in the first half of Japan's Asian Cup clash against Bahrain. Now, there is no details emerged yet. The game has only just finished at the time of recording, I think. So we don't know the extent of the injury. He was holding his calf. He was hobbling off the park. It's still not good. And somebody who we've been saying will be like a new signing when he comes back might not even be back anytime soon. We need to see what the evaluation is for the extent of the injury and how long that's going to be. It's fun being alive. Right, that does it for today. There's going to be rapid developments, I'd imagine, over the next few hours from me editing this video to getting the video out. So as I said, if anything does happen, I will go live on the channel tonight. We'll also be live on the channel tomorrow night for the usual deadline stream that we do. So keep an eye out for any of these streams. And hopefully somehow we do something that cheers the Celtic fans up a bit. But it's getting toxic. I mean, if you've looked online, people are not happy. I'm not happy. It's a disaster, it feels like, and we're gambling a league title. We're gambling a lot of money. It's not good. See you when I'm next live. Catch you.